Hey y'all, it's Bohemia with Bohemian Stars and Ocean Heart Readings. We are going to do a creative style reading today. I have a lot of different ideas for creative outlet type of readings, so I'm really excited about this one. It doesn't matter what your medium is, these are prompts that correlate to the five senses. So these are things you can like taste, sense to surround yourself with, music to get triggered by, and then a tarot and an oracle card as well, to kind of give us some prompts. It might be something that's in your flow. It might be something that is just like wow, I haven't thought about doing art from that angle, or just a bit of a challenge, just to give you something new, something fresh to do, different angle to work with. So I thought it'd be quite fun. I songwrite, I do many different types of art, and I love doing different prompts and coming to at things from different angles. So hopefully this will be a very fun exercise to do, and you can even come back to the video and pick other options and try again. And you're welcome to drop your experiments and your outcomes of what you come up with in the comments, but also make sure to protect your work and always copyright your work too, because I'm big on that. It sucks to have your work out there without protection. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And over here, that's going to be the subconscious cards from the bottom of the deck for everybody. So stay tuned to the end of the reading, and we'll go ahead and start. We're using Rider Waite, a color oracle, and a the duality oracle. And then I've also written on pieces of paper like songs that came to me, flavors and scents that came to me. So you could incorporate those actually in your work. You could just have those playing or snacking on those things while you're working and just see where it kind of randomly takes you. You can use it however you want in your work, okay? All right, so for those of you who chose number 1, let's see what we got. Oops. We have time. We have Illegal, the song Illegal by Shakira, and she's talking about heartbreak. Hi, Moon Princess. She's talking about how it should be illegal to break a woman's heart or anybody's heart in that song. So it's a good song. I like it. It's with Santana, if I remember correctly. Sour apple is your flavor. Got a little story coming up. Leather jacket is like a feeler texture. And then we have the Ace of Cups reversed. So you definitely can go on a theme of heartbreak, and you can incorporate these times. This person might be a little bit sour. There could be some different textures going on. Maybe someone left someone's leather jacket there. Love that's run out. Maybe that love is out of time. It could be looking back on a time where you were heartbroken. Maybe you currently aren't. So there's so much here to work with to kind of trigger creative ideas. You know, if your creativity is cooking, you could incorporate sour apple and think about somebody of this type making a meal for them, like, you know, consoling them. You could do works for, you know, these could be writing prompts. You could, if you're mixed media, maybe incorporating some of these elements and textures in there and getting this feel, could be really cool. So I would say look at how the timeline is in your work, or going back to a time that maybe things haven't been resolved for you or for someone that you care about. The idea of, you know, crushed emotions being so intense that it's illegal. It's so wrong for that to happen. The idea of somebody being a bit sour about things, and just kind of maybe, you know, having a leather jacket that they need to give back to this person. So there are some prompts for you. And I do, like I said, have many different creative style readings that I want to do. And so I do have another one that I will be doing that will be just advice on your creative path and your next step as well. So go ahead and leave comments if you want to see more of these. For number 2, we have Focus reversed. We have Bad Reputation by Joan Jett. She don't give a care about her bad reputation. Chocolate. Let's see what we got. Ash. That's a crazy texture. Ash. Cornflower is the color. Stand up to the elements. So we definitely have a rebel one here. And then we have the emperor, who's like the man, basically. So this is a rebellious one. It's like, you know, we have this chocolate in here, which is like appeals to everybody. But then we have like this lack of focus, like getting off track, but I don't really care, burning things to ash, standing up to the elements, taking control of your life. So this is definitely a call to do some rebel work. And maybe you have this like energy creatively that needs to focus more and really hone in on the message that you want to say to really, stand up to the elements. You've chose number two. All right, so we got a wild one there. Yes, and so that's really cool. Like, what do you want to burn to ash? What do you want to savor? What do you feel like you don't care anymore what your reputation is? You have to speak this artistically. You have to speak this creatively. What do you want to stand up to so that you gain control in your life again? Or is there somebody else? Hey, hi, Sadie. Yes. Is there somebody else that you want to write it from their perspective for? Someone else that you wish could stand up to certain things, or if you were a badass like Joan Jett, or I'm sure you already are, to be honest, but if that's something that you haven't explored in your work, and if you have, if you're feeling a bit meek, this is the perfect, like, get that, chutzpah about yourself and really do some radical work. So I love that one because I love doing that in art. All right. For those of you who chose number three, oh, I'm getting cards everywhere like always. Ah, hi, Arita. We have Purity. Oh, this would be a sweet one. New Soul by Yale Naim. Remember that song? It was on like an Apple commercial. Jasmine is the flower for scent. Could also be a taste with tea. Glass. Oh, this is such a fragile little flower one. The Knight of Cups. And then we have Orchid. Let's see what it says. It's so light. Raise your vibration, but it's reversed. So this could be about, definitely, like, this is so like that fragile little, it reminds me of like coming to age kind of movie scripts or something, where it's like the fragile little bird who has to, is falling in love, or just, just being very tender hearted. And that could even be in a raw way, like Sia's elastic heart in a way. But this is that fragile stage, I think, right before like all the craziness happens, that sweet part. We have, very fragile words here, glass. We have this fragile fragrance, this new soul coming in, just very, and so raising vibration. So just that whole energy of not being very wise. So it could be writing, or creating for somebody that is, not yet tainted by the world. It could be finding that part of yourself that's not jaded anymore, or that's, hidden in there, or remembering that part of yourself and creating from that aspect, or, completing what do you feel is so fragile and beautiful, and replicating that if you're doing a still life work or something of that nature, or bringing a character of this sort into your story. You might feel like, okay, that's too cheesy. How can this, I bring a person that's that, kind of pure and fragile in? But that's what's needed at this time, is to kind of have that little sweet one you want to protect. So this is definitely like a little precious one, right? It's very funny seeing that next to number two, because that's like the kid from the other side of the tracks that's gonna come and shake this little sweet one up, right? Okay. So for number four, let's see what we have. We have Enigma. Oh, there we go. We have Dragon, which is power and legacy, which is reversed. We have Caramel, and we have Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix. So this is a powerful one. We have Bubbles, which is a bit of fun. And then we have the Hermit card. So this is definitely like powerhouse reading. This is giving me like Freddie Mercury vibes. This is like where you have like this huge energy within you. And it is saying, think about that long-term legacy, not in an overwhelming way, but here we have the Hermit reflecting on like what you've been through, knowing your own power. The song Voodoo Child is very much about Jimmy knowing his own power and saying how he can build up a mountain and smack it down with the palm of his hand, and just, there's that youth that's there, but it's really reflecting on your journey. Like, what have you been through, and putting all that in there and just claiming it. Like, if you know that you have this huge charisma, you have this magnetic, massive power, letting it shine forward in your work, and not, smoothly, like caramel smooth, right? It's smooth like bubbles, just smooth, letting it come out just like it's nothing. And this is so crazy, but I was just watching on Facebook, there was like Coolio, the rapper, right, Gangster's Paradise, and he was just like chill rapping Gangster's Paradise while he was on this like amusement park, and he was just so smooth. And that's what this reminds me of, just like carrying, like harnessing yourself. And this could even be, I'm getting like the image of someone who sings in choir. If you're performing on stage and you've been a bit self-conscious, like it's time to really let that out and not shrink yourself anymore, and just let that smooth power come out of you and not feel like you have to pull it back anymore. Yeah, it's resonating with you. And bringing in a character like this, if you're writing, if you're doing screenplays, is very necessary. You might feel like, man, that's a lot to bring this kind of character with that much attention. It might pull the story, but that's what it's calling for now. In your songwriting, write as if you are at that caliber and believe that caliber of yourself. So with this reverse, it's saying that some people are kind of doubting it, but really you know that you have this within you. Some of you kind of have chronicles. You might already have things that you've written, and think like you might have planned out your album already, or planned out your plays or whatever it is. And so it's saying to bring all of that, and you do have that power that's very rare and unique of your own, and you need to honor that. So that's very awesome. And it's like, have fun though, right? It's Voodoo Child and it's bubbles, right? Create what makes you happy, and it's powerful. All right. So for those of you who chose number 5, you're writing a book. Nice. For number 5, we have habit. We have What Have You Done For Me Lately by Janet Jackson. We have, okay, I spelled it wrong, sorry, sriracha. That is like the flavor, the scent. So we have some spice. Soft blanket. I love like the juxtaposition in these, because I just wrote them down and shuffled them and put them out. We have the Ten of Wands, right? See, now you can see why you're saying, what have you done for me lately? And then we have Pink Gari, which is courageous sexuality, but it's reversed. So yes, this is that energy of feeling repressed and wanting like this soft blanket, wanting to relax and kind of getting like fiery because you haven't been able to express yourself and like let go, and being very tired of habits. So this could be a work about breaking habits. This could be work about telling others that they're interrupting your daily habits, and like you have other expectations, you have different things you want to express and experience with yourself, and it's not happening because your routine's getting interrupted, or you just need to kind of put others in their place. Could even be internally. You might have a part of yourself, like do a work that's kind of within your own self, and the different aspects of yourself, kind of the one side self-sabotaging and the other side trying to be free and live your best life. So there's a way. Yeah. 5. Right? So you need to tell them. So this is in a different way. Whereas number 2 is like fighting the power, and it's like this huge, like universal kind of energy. This is kind of like head to head. Like, what do you have to clear out? What are you in your day-to-day routine? It even kind of reminds me of like indie movies, where it's like you're following them their day-to-day routine, and it's like all the things that agitate them and annoy them before they have like the big like change. Thank you, Jen. Thanks for watching. Before they have like the big catalyst that changes whatever it is. And that's what this is. And that song for Janet Jackson actually fits that. That's what it happened. Like her family was like, what's this song? Like I remember her mom being like, we thought it was sassy. Like we were from the old school, and she has this like, what have you done for me lately song, and then she kind of came out on her own. So this is your time to do that. To your comfort zone might be spicier than what other people want, but it's time to kind of shed that. For some of you, I'm seeing like somebody who you're like in art class, and maybe your teacher has the way that you have to paint this way and measure this way, and whatever, and you're just like, no, like what is that doing for me in my art? I need to express myself. So you could really need to shed some old outdated ideas that don't work for your art, and go in a way that seems a bit wild, or even in some cases too safe. And it's about finding your own balance so that you can get in a really good routine with your work. All right. And your art might be like, what have you done for me lately? For those of you who are like, okay, I know I'm an artist, but I haven't done anything for a while. I feel like your art is being sassy with you. Like, you better come over here and listen to the muses. All right. So for number 6, we have patience. We have Butterflies by Alicia Keys. She wrote that when she was 14. We have cinnamon. Cinnamon can be spicy or like warm, cozy. So that fresh smell of grass, that texture of grass. We have the Devil card. And we have Clary Sage, which says euphoria and insight. All right, so for some people, you're definitely going to be writing about like the headiness of, definitely this really lends to that, like being really yearning for something, even towards obsession, or really like just like yearning, desire. Like maybe it's bad for you, maybe it's a little toxic, maybe, but it makes you feel so fresh. It makes you feel like alive, and you're just having patience, like waiting for this time when you're going to get to enjoy this thing that you want so much. And maybe like I said, it's obligating you from other things, but you just can't let it go. You're so focused on this. And here we do have that element of like toxicity, but it's kind of winding in and out of that, where you're like, but no, I think it's wonderful. So this is really great. You can do, I could see so many people creating, even if it was like everyone was a songwriter, creating so many different things just from these prompts here. So many different ways to bring this into your writing. You can, like I said, you can utilize these words. You can spin off of the titles and the songs. You could just put these smells and scents and textures around you and see what you're inspired to create. But this definitely could be even having a relationship or a situation that's very binding, and then kind of going and finding that the grass is greener on the other side, and having that patience with yourself as you learn to fall in love again, as you learn to experience new things and try new things again, and as you release yourself from things that you thought were your bread and butter. You thought that that's the way life had to be, and that was the best it can get, and then you learn that things could be different and it getting better with time. So there's a whole bunch of ways you can take just that one prompt, and come back to that again. All right, so for everyone who watched, let's see what we have. We have emotions, and we have the lizard there, which really connects to like dream energy, the dream world. So you might really listen to your dreams. We have snuggle, which you can't really see. It says natural touch. We have the sun reversed, and we have Azure, which is angelic communication. So there's definitely the energy here. Like, of course, you're coming to a reading to learn about creativity. So there's going to be other mystical ways that your creativity is going to be coming to you. So make sure to open up blockages and take the opportunities, because I'm feeling like, it's saying that communication wants to come through, inspiration wants to come through, but people might be shutting it down. And definitely, artists, we're so sensitive about our shit, right? We really are. Like, we're so sensitive about our work. And so this year, our emotions can get out of control. And so it's like, but it needs to come down to earth. It needs to be something touchable. This card is like skin, like snuggle, natural touch. We have to birth these things out. We have to let them be real, made real. And this card reverse can literally come up when somebody's getting ready to have a baby, right? The baby's getting ready to drop. So it's time to, try to work with all those emotions, all those fears, and really accept the support from the spiritual realm, from your guides, your muses, whoever, your higher self, and allow yourself to bring your work into being something touchable. Yes, with the Pisces moon, definitely, definitely, and to allow it to birth out, because this here, like, these are amazing topics, and that means that there's amazing artists who will be tuning in, who this reading's for, amazing creatives, to really tap into these things. So, and that's really exciting. And so it's like, just, I'm Pisces. So that's the same way. I can get so, sad about, whatever. And I see projects that didn't come to fruition. So, and that happens. Like, I literally, look, I just found out on YouTube some music that got stolen from me. That person has like millions of views, and I just found through a tarot reading, ironically, that someone stole my work, right? So I had a little hard time for a few weeks after that, like writing. I was getting really emotional. So sometimes we have to let those things go when things like that have happened. And I have great friends who are reminding me, like, that means you can create something even greater. Whatever, if auditions were missed out on, whatever it was, there's just a lot of encouragement here from the spirit realm to like use those emotions, let them speak, let them come out and be creations. Don't shut them down. Maybe that's a character who needs to speak, even if it's like a surly emotion that you don't care for. And that's why I like to do all these prompts, because you might be like, well, that's not my style. I don't create like that. I don't know what she's talking about. No, maybe that's a different aspect, right? So some people, if you look at like rock bands, they'll write a song from the aspect of like the devil or something, or they'll do like, this crazy things, but then it ends up being like a lesson. It ends up being this amazing work. So there's so many different ways to come at things. So I'm so sensitive about artists. I just want to like hug all the artists in the world. Remember, like, we document society and history. It's an amazing thing to be an artist. So just be encouraged, believe in yourself, and know that it's very important that your works are out in the world and they're ready to be birthed. Okay, so go ahead and leave your comments. especially after the video post. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And I'm always open to new ideas if you have new ideas for videos. So yay, Team Pisces. Someone said Pisces are the best. All right, and happy full moon in Pisces, guys. Bye.